All right, in this exercise, we're just gonna simply be getting up from this split stance position, knee on the floor. And what's gonna happen is when you do this fast, you're gonna notice that we use momentum and the wrong muscular sequencing to basically do everything because our brain is always gonna choose the path of least resistance. So if we imagine the perfect muscular sequencing and timing of activating the glutes, driving out of these hips, engaging the core, using rotational movement, whatever that combination is, we skip that maybe because of laziness or just other postural dysfunction that is restricting us from that sequencing. And when we do that, we basically just put more load in joints that are unable to withstand that amount of force. So what we're gonna do here is just like everything else, we're gonna use this exercise as a meditation and we're gonna go as slow as possible. So now the first thing that I'm thinking about is just how I feel right here. Like, are my hips tilted to the side? Are they shifted side to side? Is my femur able to internally rotate enough to get my knee over the toe, or does it automatically splay out like this? And now I'm just in excessive external rotation back here in the hips and I can't feel my glutes fire. I'm thinking about how the weight is distributed in my feet. Is it even? Are my toes crunching already as I prepare to stand up? Am I putting too much weight into this back knee or into this back foot? Basically, these are all things to think about, and we will get more specific with the biomechanics as we move forward. But for now, I want you to work on building the mind-body connection and actually start listening to what your body is saying. Because basically, so now I'm gonna start to lift a ½ inch off the ground. And what's happening is I'm already getting a whole bunch of signals that it's like, I'm using my knee too much. So now I gotta think about, is my core relaxed? Am I just dumping into this anterior pelvic tilt and shutting off my ab system? And then while I'm here, I'm thinking about bringing a sense of ease with my breath. Making this process as slow as possible. What do I feel in my knees? What do I feel in my hips? How do I feel my diaphragm moving on each breath? What about my shoulder position and my head position? As the closer I get to a standing position, the more I want all of my joints stacked. So head, shoulders, hips, obviously knees and feet are going to be a little different in this split stance. So now going through this exercise, what range of motion was the toughest on your body, whether that's the lower back, the knees, or the feet? Whatever range of motion is hardest on you, that's a lot of good information for us moving forward. Basically, if I'm hurting in this range of motion, number one, that means our body is going to avoid that range of motion, which will also atrophy the muscles and weaken that mind-body connection. And then also, pain or tightness in a certain range of motion is going to tell us what muscles are inhibiting this movement. The next thing to do is, as you get tired enough doing 1 to 3 reps of this, go to the other side and feel the differences. So you want to calibrate this side by itself, and then you want to take a mental note of which side felt better, why were they different, and what's going on in our hips and core that causes those discrepancies.